Hey everyone, very excited today because I am experimenting. And what I've done, I got this idea in my head to take brass wire and interlace that into my Viking knit. So we're gonna draw it now. I'm super excited to see how it's turned out. I have hopes, I have dreams for it. But if it doesn't turn out, no big deal. I'll experiment again. These guys even came to watch the show as well. Like, they're super stoked to see how this Viking knit turns out. Hey guys. Okay, I hope my battery lasts. So here we go. I was gonna measure it beforehand. I didn't do very much. I didn't want to make too much just in case it doesn't turn out really well. About 3.5 inches of the Viking knit weave. Let's start drawing it. Oh, this is so cool. I'm gonna try not to pull my camera over. I'm gonna take it off camera for a moment. Pull. Ooh. Okay, first draw. Not bad, not bad. Let's go a little smaller. Still high hopes. We're looking okay. Nice, nice. Gonna go down smaller, down to 5/16. Oh wait, I must have just done that one. A quarter. I gotta get some muscle behind these, so I gotta take it off camera to do it. Interesting, interesting. Okay. So what I did with this is I did 6 loops of the Viking knit to start, and I did a double knit pattern, and then I put the brass wire over the top, interlaced it into the Viking knit, but with the brass wire I only did a single knit weave. So I believe that's why it's appearing to, the brass looks a much looser on top of the Viking. I don't know, still kind of cool. I'm digging it. Nice. Okay, so it was stuck in my drawing plate, but I finally got it pulled through. I'm not going to attempt to go any smaller because I just don't think it will. It's actually like kind of cool. I need to give it a minute to get used to it because I was kind of imagining or hoping to get something like more integrated into the copper wire, and this one just kind of covers the copper, which probably is to be expected with the way I did it, but I have some other ideas. I'm going to continue experimenting and let you guys see. Just wanted to show everybody I ended up going ahead and making this into a nice bracelet, and it looks pretty cool. In this light it's a bit big for me, but pretty cool. So even though I like how it looks right now, I'm gonna go ahead and patina it as well, just to see how it turns out. All right, this is experiment number 2. So what I have done is I've got a 4 loop Viking knit, and I've done a double knit, and now I'm going in with the brass wire and I'm weaving it into this portion. And I don't really have a pattern or anything going. I'm just kind of sewing it in back and forth all the way down. So these 2 sides have not been done, and these 2 rows, you can see that the brass wire is in there. So we're gonna see how that turns out. Okay, so we're ready to draw this thing. Let's see how this sucker turns out. All right, now I know in the last video, this part was really hard to do on camera, but I'm gonna do my best. Maybe starting a little too. Oh, there we go. It's just so satisfying to see it pulled through that thing. So I don't want to not shoot that part. That we zoom out a little bit here. Okay. I'm gonna keep drawing this. It's just too hard to do it on camera, but I'll bring you right back once and I'll tell you how far down I went on the draw plate. All right, just a little check-in. So I've gone down to 1/4 and kind of getting a little chaos going. So it seems to be really pulling that brass wire just completely straight, and it's not really smooth right now, but I'm gonna see if I can kind of keep drawing it and smooth everything out. All right, so I have finished drawing this down. I went all the way down to 532, and this is really more of what I had in mind. Now there's some things that are flawed with it, mainly probably has to do with the way that I spaced out and wove in the brass, but I've got some ideas in mind on how to fix that. I didn't want to be too tedious with it this first time through. I think that's pretty cool. I really like it, and this is the other one we made, so you can compare. This one ended up more with like a coating of the brass wire over it, like almost looks like scales, like dragon scales. That's pretty cool. But this is what I had in mind more of, just to integrate that brass wire into the copper. So we're gonna patina these also and see how that turns out. Now I'm using tarnish resistant brass wire, so I expect that brass to stay pretty shiny and the copper to go ahead and patina. The bracelets, well, just the one bracelet I patinaed, but I did not patina the other one because I got to thinking about it, and I feel like if I patina it, the copper underneath is going to turn really dark, and I'm not going to be able to polish it the way I think I want. So for now, I'm just leaving that one because I think it's cool. I'll leave it that way. But I did patina the other one, so this is how it turned out. You can see the little brass wire that's showing through there, so I think that's pretty cool. I did find that I had to trim the brass wire in a few places because of the way I did the patterning. I didn't do it consistently, so you can see how it really got pulled long. If I do it again, I'm gonna go into every single loop and hopefully that'll help. So where I did have to trim off some loose pieces, then there was pieces sticking out, so I've really had to go through and kind of push in a few wires that were poking out. But that's the way it looks, and that was a pretty cool little experiment.